There is a weed growing in the ditch at the end of my lane right now. It has been there every summer for as long as I can remember. My neighbor mows it down every few weeks because it looks untidy. Last winter, he set 11 mouse traps in his basement. I set 0. My name is Edwin Yoder. I farm in Holmes County, Ohio. This is my grandmother's trick, and it has not failed this family in 4 generations. Before I tell you what the plant is, I want you to understand something about how a mouse chooses where to live. A mouse does not wander randomly. She scouts. She follows scent trails, air currents, the smell of food, the smell of warmth, and the absence of anything that signals danger. She is making a decision every time she approaches a building. Give her one strong enough reason to turn around, and she will take it every time. My grandmother knew this without ever reading a word of science. She knew it because her mother taught her, and her mother's mother taught her before that, back in a farmhouse in Germany where a winter mouse problem meant spoiled grain and a hungry spring. The plant is peppermint, not the tea, not the candy, not the bottle of extract from the grocery store. The actual plant grown in your yard, cut fresh, and placed where mice enter. Here is why it works and why the dried version from the spice rack does not. A mouse's sense of smell is roughly 40 times more sensitive than a human's. The compound in peppermint that repels them is menthol, and fresh peppermint leaves contain between 1 and 3% pure menthol oil. That concentration, coming off a living cut plant, is simply too much for a mouse's nervous system to tolerate comfortably. Not painful, not deadly, just unbearable in the way that a smell can be unbearable when it is strong enough. The mouse turns around. Dried peppermint from a jar has lost most of that volatile oil to evaporation. The cotton ball soaked in peppermint extract that you read about online works for perhaps 3 days before. The cotton dries out and the concentration drops below the threshold that matters. My grandmother did not use cotton balls because she did not need to. She had the plant. Here is exactly what we do. Peppermint grows aggressively. Plant it once in a corner of your yard and it will spread further than you want it to every year. We keep ours in a bed along the north side of the barn where the shade slows it down slightly. By mid-June, the stems are full and the oil content is at its peak, right before the plant flowers. That is when we cut it. You want stems about 12 inches long, cut just before flowering. After the plant flowers, the oil begins to move into seed production and the menthol concentration drops. Cut before the flowers open and you have the strongest material of the year. Tie them in small bundles, 6 to 8 stems, nothing fancy, just twine wrapped twice. Then place them where mice enter, not in the middle of a room where a mouse is already inside. At the threshold, under the gap where a pipe enters the foundation wall, along the base of the door where the sweep does not quite seal, in the corner of the crawl space access, inside the opening where your dryer vent exits the house. Every entry point you can find, it on the bundles every 3 to 4 weeks through the fall and early winter, which is when mice are actively looking for somewhere warm to spend the season. By January, they have either committed to your house or found somewhere else. Our experience is they find somewhere else. Now I want to tell you what does not work so you do not waste your time. Peppermint oil from the store, diluted and sprayed, fades in hours. The cotton ball method fades in days. Planting peppermint outside and hoping the scent drifts in does nothing because the concentration drops too fast in open air. What works is fresh cut material placed directly at entry points, replaced on schedule. Not complicated, not expensive, just consistent. My grandmother was consistent. She cut bundles in June and again in August. She placed them in September when she started hearing the first scratching in the walls of other families in the district. She never heard scratching in her own walls, not once in the years I visited that house as a child. One more thing, and then I want to hear from you. Peppermint will not evict a mouse that is already living inside your walls. If you have an active infestation, deal with that first. Traps, a barn cat, whatever works for your situation. Then plant the peppermint. Cut the bundles in summer, place them in fall, and do not give the next mouse a reason to move in after the last one is gone. That is the whole system. A plant you can grow for free, cut twice a summer, and place in September. It has kept this farmhouse mouse-free for as long as my family has farmed this land. If this is the kind of knowledge you want every week, hit subscribe. Every video I put out is something my family has done for generations, tested on this farm, and explained as plainly as I know how. No products, no sponsors, no one trying to sell you anything. And tell me in the comments what state you are in and whether you have ever tried anything like this. Tell me if you have mice right now. Tell me if peppermint grows wild anywhere near your property. I read every comment and I answer when I can. Next week, I am going to show you how we store 200 eggs through winter for $3 with no refrigerator, no freezer, and no electricity. The method is called water glassing. It has been documented since 1884. It works so well that eggs stored this way in September are still good the following June. And the reason your grocery store does not tell you about it is the same reason nobody told you about the weed in your ditch.